right, we're going to continue working on the Algebra Honors Unit 7 study guide, starting with problem 19. So our instructions for these problems are to factor completely, or if the expression is prime, we're going to write prime in the blank. So we're going to look at number 19 here, and I have 8m squared minus 6m minus 5. I don't see a common factor that I can pull out of each one of those terms, so I'm going to use a equals 8, b equals negative 6, c equals negative 5, and because my a is greater than 1, I also have to have ac. ac is negative 40. I need two numbers that multiply to give me negative 40, but add together to give me negative 6. So you can do this several ways. I'm going to say negative 40 is 4 times negative 10. Those are my magic numbers, because 4 times negative 10 is negative 40, 4 plus negative 10 is negative 6. Now at this point, once you know these numbers, you can solve by grouping, you can factor by grouping, or I'm going to use my box method. That's the one I prefer. You do the one you like. So I'm going to put in ax squared, which in this case is 8m squared. C goes in the bottom right. It has to be C from the original problem. And the two magic numbers that I found are going to be 4m and negative 10m. So now I'm going to factor out. And I look vertically down. I can take a 2 from here and an m. So 2m. Vertically down here, the only thing I can take out of each of those is a 1. Left to right, I can take 4m. And left to right here, if I'm looking into the box and I see a negative number, I have to take a negative out. So that's going to be a negative 5 that I can pull. So I believe my two factors are 4m minus 5 and 2m plus 1. But I want to be really sure that I didn't miss something, and so I'm going to check my work. I'm going to multiply back out the two binomials I just said are my answer. And I'm going to use FOIL. 4m times 2m is 8m squared. Outer is 4m, inner is negative 10m, so that's negative 6m. And last is negative 5. And I want to look and make sure that's what I started with. And it is, so yay, that means I checked my work. Okay, over here on number 20. The first thing I always want to do is double check and see if there's a greatest common factor that I can pull out. And I can pull an n out of each of these terms. So I'm going to say that this is now n times n squared plus 5n minus 9. Okay, so you can look for two binomials that when you multiply them together, they're going to give you n squared plus 5n minus n. In this case, I might do a little bit of guess and check. So I know that my first terms have to be n, because n times n will give me n squared. And now I need two numbers that multiply to give me negative 9, but they have to add together to give me positive 5. So I'm going to think about what I can do for that. So I need to multiply together to get negative 9, but I have to add together to get positive 5. So I'm going to think about my factors of 9. That's 1 times 9. And I know one of them is going to be negative, so maybe negative 1 times positive 9, or maybe 1 times negative 9. When I add those together, I get 8 or negative 8. That's not what I'm looking for, so I know those aren't the two magic numbers. Okay, the other factors of 9 are 3 and 3, and I know one of them has to be negative, so I multiply negative 3 times 3, I get negative 9. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 0 is also not what I'm looking for, but I don't have any other factors of 9 available to me. These are the factors of 9 that we know, and so I have no numbers to put in to my binomials. What that means is that the best I can do is pull an n out, and so my answer is going to be n times n squared plus 5n minus 9. I was not able to factor that any further. Alright, I can factor back, or excuse me, I can distribute back out to be sure that I pulled that properly, and I would get n cubed plus 5n squared minus 9n.